First, let's talk about Mark Zuckerberg, because isn't every show better when you start with Mark Zuckerberg?
Well, we could have, one thing we didn't include in here is he was doing martial arts on a barge.
Oh, yeah. I missed this.
Oh yeah, full kicking and the whole thing with some big, beefy guy, and there's dweeby Mark trying to undweeb himself. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, he's been going through the last couple of years, especially. He's been going through an image makeover.
A lot of testosterone envy there, yeah.
Yeah, because for a long time, and many would say still, very, kind of a stodgy kind of robot. I mean, almost looks like a robot in a lot of ways. Robot.
He's nerdy, and that's okay because nerds control the world now, so it's fine. Don't be apologetic about it.
There's nothing wrong with being nerdy. I've been nerdy all my life. And only for parts of my life did I feel weird about it, but now I embrace it. Mark Zuckerberg going in the opposite direction. He's like, no more nerd for me. I must be, I
want to see the cage fight between Zuckerberg and Bezos. Whose trainer is better?
You know what? I wonder about that. If that was a pay-per-view, would the actual viewership be an impressive number, or would people be like, I don't even care.
Yes, and it would be interesting. It's like F, Marry, Kill. It'd be like, who are you rooting against in this case?
Yes, exactly. Not who you're rooting for. It's like, who do you want to get more beat up? And it's like both of them. I don't really care who wins.
We don't think that ourselves. We're just projecting that of others.
I'm assuming because of the AI backlash, which we will also talk about later in this show. See, it's all
intertwined. It's all layers.
It's circular financing, but in podcast form. Another topic we will talk about later in this show. But let's start with Mark Zuckerberg publishing. Is this a manifesto? Does this qualify as a manifesto?
I don't think so, because I don't think it said, damn the world, we're taking over. It was more a hubristic offering to the world. In his view, that it was extremely utopian in the things that AI is going to do for us, and thus everyone should have it.
Right.
And so it was more of an offering, I think. He thinks that this is what we can do for you, world. And does the world want it? Does the world trust him to give it to them? I don't disagree with much of what he said.
I mean, that's the interesting thing here. So it's called The Future is for Everyone. And, in this scribe, not manifesto, offering, as Jeff puts it, he says that AI should be open. It should be available for everyone, as the title implies, i.e. not locked inside of some frontier company's access, kind of barricades with API access charged an arm and a leg for. He says that Meta is committing to over $1 billion to fund data centers for open source AI research.
Well, stick by that $1 billion. He's also doing a fund to make nice with the communities where they put the data centers.
He wants to build it for the people. And that that also includes, like, from the if data centers are required for this kind of outlay of this technology that is built for the people, then we also have to respect the fact that there are a lot of people that don't like data centers is a 2-letter word to them right now. That I don't know. I think he's got an uphill battle there to win over the minds and hearts of people on the data center front. But it's not a bad thing to aspire to that, to do it responsibly.
No, and the great news here is that he is still supporting open. Now let's go with what we say on this show all the time. It's open-ish. It's open weights. It's not fully open source. You don't see the training material and so on and so forth. But nonetheless, this is really important because it
more
seemed
open
that he
than
was
closed.
moving away. Exactly. It seemed that he was moving away or wasn't sure that he was going to still support it. Jan LeCun has been praising him like crazy, like Yoda to Luke, saying, I can't quote the lines from the movie, but
it would sound something like this, but I don't know what the words would be.
Or I'll mix my movies. Very good, Grasshopper.
Right.
So
now we're back on Karate Kid.
No. That's okay. Well, I think it's right for martial arts. I think it's probably better. As we'll mention in a second, they're putting out an open model, and it's an important kind of model to put out. And so holding by that, I think, is critical. And it's a moment for open weights and a moment for people being able to have AI in their own control. And it should make OpenAI and Anthropic very nervous, because it's not just the Chinese who are waving the open flag. It's Zuckerberg. Right. I'd be curious to see what Google does going forward. They've had open models as well. NVIDIA has also put out an open model, a new open model, bigger than this. So I think it's important. The essay is 6,500 words.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's easy to jump to manifesto, because I think when I think of manifesto, I think of this really, really long, like detailed, like this is how I feel about the world and everything.
I will confess that I took advantage of the listen to article link, and I listened to it on my morning constitutional, where I walk very slowly now, but I'm walking.
Good.
There's a fair amount of sophomoric. I'm not trying to sound so insulting. I don't mean it to be so insulting, but I mean that literally, as in, left school after a sophomore year and still sees that as kind of the essay. There's a lot of word salad in here.
Got it. Got it.
Nonetheless.
Do you think he used his AI to write it?
I would suspect so. Though I just saw somebody on,
is it watermarked?
On TikTok put, I don't know which one they used, but they put Moby Dick through a detector and found that 12% of it was AI written and 20% was AI helped.
Oh, that's perfect.
Isn't it? So I don't trust those damn things. But yeah, I would imagine he certainly did. And his staff helped too, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But he believes that you're going to have this exceptionally capable personal agent that understands you, your goals, and everything you care about at your side. And that Meta is going to give you this, and you're going to be grateful to Meta for it. You'll have incredible tools for the creation to express your ideas. I agree with that. And powerful tools to create new businesses. The Mercatus Center just put out a report a week ago saying that the impact of AI so far isn't losing jobs; it's people creating new companies. You'll have a personalized.
True. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think so. You'll have a personalized tutor and coach with a PhD in every subject. And this is, as someone who has tried and failed many times to learn languages, I roll my eyes at this a little bit, because it's not so easy as saying, oh, I got my coach. Is my coach going to beat me up every day to make me remember this stuff? I cannot decline German cases to save my soul, and having the best AI in the world isn't going to make me do it. Learning still requires effort on your own part. And so I think a lot of this is reductive to learning and saying, oh, yeah, you'll have this agent, and this agent will teach you anything you want to know. To an extent, that can be true, yes. But to an extent, it still requires all the effort of learning, especially languages.
And especially along that line, like motivation isn't, I don't get motivated when I work with an AI and it tells me something positive. Like I don't read that and go, oh man, I'm going to live up to AI. Let's go. You know what I mean? Versus working with like a mentor or working with a tutor or an instructor who says the right thing in a very human way that connects with me on a human level to make me go, you know what? I want to be better at this. Because
that's really interesting, Jason. What if AI, when it came out, when historians look back, what if it had no sycophancy, but used that in the rare moment to say, Jason, you've really knocked this out of the park.
It would have to choose. It would have to choose so wisely.
It would. Otherwise, it would be meaningful then. They've completely devalued praise.
They have. If everything is praise, then nothing is praise.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. The University of Michigan, I think it is, is eliminating grading for the first semester for students. And I know we're going to hear people say, this is the ruin of, nobody's tough anymore. They can't stay anymore. Kathy Davidson, who's a wonderful educator I used to work with at CUNY, posted saying, this is great. It's going to mean that students can experiment more. They can try things they wouldn't have tried otherwise, that they can be too tough. Let me see, make sure, school ending grades first term. Which one is it? It's University of Michigan, yes. So it's pass or no credit. So it's not even fail, pass or no credit in that first term. Now, I work with some really good educators who say that without grades, you don't motivate people, and they're not going to do stuff. And I think that's a problem to get over. I agree. I'm not saying that it works for everything. I hated giving grades because I figured somebody either is motivated to learn this or they're not. I taught grad school.
Yeah.
So anyway,
at that level, yeah, hopefully they're motivated.
If you don't know why you're here, then don't bother.
Yeah.
So I think you raise a really good point, Jason, about that notion of motivation, and AI is not motivating. I think that's a really important insight.
Yeah. It's kind of a flat, like, I don't know. People want to ascribe it as being, kind of so similar to being human, but there's a lot of ways in which it does fall flat. And I think that's one big one is, I might be motivated by the idea that I have access to this insane knowledge, tool set and everything like that. But I don't know that I've ever read praise from AI and taken it to heart. It's always with an eye roll. You know what I mean? And so, there's that.
Well, the other thing is I have the privilege right now of having access to university libraries because I'm emeritus status at CUNY, so I can keep that. And then plus my Stony Brook and Montclair State give me access to those libraries, and that in turn gives me access to New York Public Library. Mm-hmm. So I have a sense there too of privilege.
Yeah.
I wish it weren't the case. I wish everybody could get what I can get, but I can get stuff that I feel privileged to have. Mm-hmm. AI kind of takes that sense away too. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but in your point about motivation, there's kind of you want to shame yourself into making good use of a privilege you have. Mm-hmm. And so AI makes it, because one of Zuckerberg's point too is that everyone will have free or affordable access to these tools. And I think that's right. I think it's the way it should be. But in a weird way, it devalues them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. That is the way that it should be. But yeah, you're right. What about the whiplash that MG Siegler on Spyglass was kind of writing about? That we've been here before, right? Meta went open with Llama, then did a bunch of hiring, a bunch of people from Scale AI, seem to be moving closer back over to the closing of things, now swinging back to open again. Is this opportunistic?
I think it's worth looking at any of these tech guys and wondering what their strategy is and where they're headed. But I think the important thing, money where mouth is in this case, is that Meta is releasing Muse Glimmer.
Yes. Which
is an open agentic model that is small enough and efficient enough to run on your PC or Mac. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's money. And then they're going to release their fuller model soon and also open weight. So I think they're putting their money where their mouth is there. I think it's legitimate. I think MG's right. They've gone back and forth on strategy. We don't know where they stand, and they've all done that. But now I think this is something to pay attention to. And I also think it's, another way to put it, is it's also Zuckerberg trying to catch up.
Yeah, right. Because when you think of the big, when you think of the big labs right now, we're very used to saying OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, although less Google, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Facebook, like Meta, I don't necessarily immediately put them in that same category, which is kind of surprising because Meta is Meta, and like they're certainly capable, I think, from sheer like resource perspectives to be up there in that category, but they're not. Is that because of their dedication to openness, or is that just because they're playing catch up from the metaverse thing, and they're just kind of behind? And this is a good strategy. This openness strategy is a good strategy to differentiate.
Yeah, I think this is where MG has a point, is that I think it's less a point of strategy and more a point of how successful they were or weren't. I mean, Llama was really important in its day. Everybody was building on top of Llama. Llama was the thing to do because it was available and it was meta, and that was a philosophy. And I think that Jan LeCun deserves some credit, I suspect, for that philosophy. But then they didn't really develop it because he built this whole new arm. He spent billions to bring people in. To do that, there was nothing coming out of there. So we'll see how these Muse models are. Meta compares it to Gemma, Google's, and Qwen 3.6, which is Qwen is who's
that's Alibaba, right?
Alibaba, thank you.
Yeah,
I know it started with an A, but it's not Anthropic. I think they're catching up. But I think the way they see to catch up is to be open, which when we get to Google, you wonder about the Android model of AI, which we've discussed on the show before. And in a sense, this is Meta stealing that thunder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now you do have to running it on your own machine is great. That does kind of preclude that the person knows how to do that.
Well, that's where I always come back to this. I don't think anyone in AI is at a retail level here. Yes, you can go to a chatbot and go chat with it. But for all the stuff you want to do to create an agent and do all that, it's not really there. So I'm surprised that Glimmer isn't packaged as an app. There's some irony in that because AI is going to kill apps, but it's the app of apps then. Mm-hmm. If I could install it as easily as I could an app,
right?
And well, I mean, this is locally, and that's what they got to do.
And that's what OpenAI has done. That's what Anthropic has done. They've taken their models and they've said, here, just install this app on your machine. It has access to all the things.
But it's still calling back to Mother Bear, right?
It's still calling back. Yeah, exactly.
In this case, Glimmer would run locally.
Oh boy. Yeah.
See, that's the difference. I think that's important.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
If in retail terms, normie terms, you say install
They're
this.
still in the app world. I mean, I'm still in the app world. Yeah.
Yeah. And do it in those terms. I think this could be huge, and people will start. If people can really understand how to use this to start to create agents for themselves. Now they've got to give access to their tools to do that. There's all kinds of stuff that's going to come forward, but I think we'd see a lot happening then.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, the agentic kind of baseline, or not baseline, but entry point is lowering. It's becoming more and more accessible to more and more people.
I don't make predictions, but I think that within the year, so the rest of this year, I think we will see two things. One is locally run models that are so simple to install, it's like installing an app. And two is WordPress.com like hosts where somebody makes it easy for you to run one of the more sophisticated models.
Right.
And you can do that. I think we see we have the de-nerding of not for the nerds will still what the nerds do. They'll have more power at it. But I think to really make this scale, you're going to have to make it as easy as the rest of computing is.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I wonder at what point we stop chasing the next big thing. Feels like there's never, I mean, we're early on AI, but it feels like there's never any equilibrium. It's always about like, that's amazing, but that's amazing right now. And I was
going to say never, Jason, but come to think of it, and you'll be talking about this in a few minutes. There's not been a next big thing in phones in quite a while.
Yeah. No, it's
improvements,
very iterative.
Incremental improvements. Yeah. But
that right now. And I mean, granted, we're still very early in, I think this kind of moment in AI, but that isn't really the case with AI. It is constant changing.
It absolutely is.
That's why, Google, as we keep talking about the things we will talk about, why Google was on top of the world and now is, by some accounts, not even being called a frontier AI lab anymore, which is an interesting perspective.
You see, I also think that, again, I think that we can't treat all the users as if they're the same.
Yeah.
So if you are a scientist, you have very specific needs around AI. And that's where we had the basically spin-off from Google last week is to work on that. And we see efforts from Anthropic to serve just scientists. Then you have the whole huge layer of coders, people who used to code software who now find they can make software in new ways. Well, that's another constituency that's different in how you treat them. And those two layers care somewhat about benchmarks at the high end. But even in the coding piece, 80% don't, really shouldn't, because everything they want to do, they can do with any of these models now. Then you get to the retail level, which interests me, which we haven't really hit yet except for chats, where this frontier stuff doesn't matter in the least. They'll come along with more capabilities. It'll end up on my phone. It'll end up other places, fine. So, yeah, I think it's a macho size matters thing that matters a lot less to most people.
Yeah, to the majority of people. Yeah.